What is the true nature of kindness? Is it a virtue to be pursued without limits, or does it carry a hidden cost when misunderstood? We've all been taught that kindness is noble, that it is the essence of goodness itself. But what if the very thing you believe to be your strength becomes the very force that destroys your inner peace? What if kindness, unchecked and untamed, leads you down a path where your virtue is weaponized against you? Today, we must face a hard truth. There are ways in which kindness, if misunderstood or misapplied, can ruin your life. In this reflection, we will not encourage you to abandon kindness, but to refine it, temper it with wisdom and strength. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in reason and fortitude, teaches us that while kindness is essential, it must be governed by wisdom, self-mastery, and an unwavering understanding of one's true purpose. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle, goes a well-known saying. Yet, if we are to survive life's battles, we must also recognize when kindness becomes a double-edged sword, one that can be turned against us if wielded improperly. Number 1. Kindness without boundaries, the path to self-destruction. It begins with good intentions. We offer kindness to those around us, seeking to lighten their burdens, ease their pain, and offer a helping hand. But in doing so, we sometimes forget one essential truth. Kindness without boundaries leads to self-neglect. We give and give until there is nothing left, mistaking servitude for virtue. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoic understanding of kindness is not about perpetual self-sacrifice. It is not about giving until you are empty, hollowed out by the demands of others. When we do not establish boundaries, we allow others to drain our energy, manipulate our emotions, and turn our kindness into a tool for their own advantage. This is where we fail, not in our desire to help, but in our inability to recognize when to stop. We think that being endlessly kind is a sign of virtue, but instead it is often a sign of weakness. We must understand that to truly embody the Stoic ideal, we must first take responsibility for ourselves. Seneca warned us, "You must live for yourself." This does not mean living selfishly, but living with a sense of purpose, with boundaries that protect your peace and well-being. Unchecked kindness, without the necessary walls of self-preservation, leads to a gradual erosion of the self. And in the end, when you are empty, there is nothing left to give, either to yourself or to others. Number 2. The trap of pleasing others, the illusion of approval. There is a certain allure in kindness that seeks validation. We act out of compassion, yes, but sometimes there's a subtle undercurrent, a desire to be liked, to be appreciated, to win the approval of others. This is where kindness becomes a snare, a trap that binds us to the whims and desires of those around us. Epictetus, a Stoic teacher, spoke of the dangers of seeking external validation. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. Kindness, when motivated by the need for approval, is no longer a virtue. It becomes a form of dependency, where your sense of self-worth is tied to the gratitude, admiration, or affection of others. But here lies the danger. What happens when the approval does not come? When your acts of kindness are met with indifference, or worse, with exploitation? When your efforts to please others only invite more demands, more expectations, and more manipulation? To live as a true Stoic is to be free from the need for external approval. No man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus reminds us. We must be kind, but not for the sake of being liked or praised. Our kindness must flow from inner strength, not from a desire to please others. If we are trapped by the need for validation, we are no longer acting out of virtue, but out of weakness. And in this way, kindness can become a prison, one where you are no longer free to live according to your own principles, but are instead bound by the expectations of others. Number 3. Enabling the weakness of others, a false compassion. Compassion is often seen as the highest form of kindness. We want to help those in need, to lift up the fallen, to give strength to the weak. But Stoicism warns us of a subtle danger. Kindness, when misapplied, can enable the very weaknesses we seek to heal. There are times when kindness, offered without wisdom, does more harm than good. Seneca spoke of this when he said, "Sometimes, even to live is an act of courage." True kindness is not about removing every obstacle from someone's path, nor is it about sheltering them from the harsh realities of life. If we constantly shield others from adversity, we rob them of the opportunity to grow, to develop their own resilience and strength. By always stepping in to fix their problems, we become enablers. We cultivate dependence rather than strength. We create an environment where others learn to rely on our kindness rather than their own courage. This is not true compassion. It is a form of control where we prevent others from facing the challenges that would ultimately make them stronger. As Stoics, we must remember that the goal of life is not to avoid suffering, but to endure it with wisdom and courage. When our kindness prevents others from growing, when it shelters them from the challenges they must face, we are not truly helping. Instead, we are allowing them to remain weak, to avoid the very struggles that would shape their character. Kindness must be tempered with wisdom. It must be rooted in the understanding that sometimes the most compassionate act is to step back and let others face their own trials. For only in the fire of adversity can they forge their own strength. Number 4. Losing yourself in the service of others, the silent sacrifice. There is a danger in kindness that is rarely spoken of. It is the silent sacrifice, the slow erosion of your own identity as you devote yourself to the service of others. In the name of kindness, we often put others' needs above our own. We believe that by doing so, we are acting virtuously. But in truth, we are losing ourselves little by little until there is nothing left. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." To be truly kind, we must first be true to ourselves. We must recognize that our primary responsibility is to live in accordance with our own values, our own principles. When we lose ourselves in the service of others, we are no longer living authentically. We are sacrificing our own identity, our own needs, in the name of a distorted idea of kindness. The world will always demand more from you. There will always be those who ask for more than you can give, who expect you to sacrifice your own well-being for their sake. And if you allow it, your kindness will be used against you, until there is nothing left of the person you once were. True Stoic kindness is not about losing yourself in the service of others. It is about finding balance. It is about understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you do not take care of yourself, if you do not nurture your own soul, you will have nothing left to offer. Kindness must come from a place of strength, not self-sacrifice. It must be rooted in the understanding that to be truly kind to others, you must first be kind to yourself. Kindness, when guided by wisdom, is one of the highest virtues, but when misunderstood, it becomes a burden that can ruin your life. The Stoic approach to kindness is not about endless giving or self-sacrifice. It is about living with purpose, establishing boundaries, and maintaining self-mastery. We must be kind, but not at the expense of our own well-being. We must offer compassion, but not at the cost of enabling the weakness of others. We must be generous, but not for the sake of pleasing others. And above all, we must remain true to ourselves, even in our acts of kindness. As Epictetus reminds us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Let our kindness be a response, not to the demands of others, but to the call of virtue within us. Let it be a reflection of our inner strength, tempered with wisdom and guided by reason. In the end, true kindness is not about giving until you are empty. It is about living with integrity, with purpose, and with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are acting in accordance with your own values. To live as a Stoic is to be kind, but never at the expense of your own peace. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Let our kindness be colored by wisdom, by strength, and by the unwavering pursuit of inner peace. This is the Stoic way. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.